Now, the coal royalties have more than doubled to create the largest state or territory budget surplus in history. The $12.3 billion excess is funding greater investment in cost of living, health, crime and housing measures. And joining us live now is the Queensland Treasurer Cameron Dick. Cameron, good to see you this morning. The rivers of coal gold, does it make people who would have been opponents of coal eat their words this morning?
Well, let me start, Peter, by saying good morning, and you're absolutely 100% correct about Origin. Doesn't matter who they put in the team, we're going to win. Look, when it comes to coal, of course, this is an important industry for Queensland and has been for many decades and will, in fact, be an important industry for at least a couple of decades to come, particularly our world-leading steel-making coal. So we're seeing that benefit coming back to Queenslanders in a record infrastructure spend for our state, in a cost of living relief going back to Queenslanders, some of whom are doing it tough in the current environment, and of course building a renewable energy system for our state and for our nation. And so those investments are going back into regional Queensland, including healthcare, community safety, as you've mentioned as well. So we're giving back to Queenslanders after a pretty tough 3 years.
Okay, so how does that wash? I mean, if you've collected more revenue than ever before, the state now has its highest total debt of just under $150 billion. So where's the cash gone?
Well, Peter, that's a number that's often used by some media outlets, but it's not the accepted measure that's used around net debt. And net debt this year...
But total debt's the big one, just to correct you there. Total debt, and that includes the government-owned assets as well. That's true, isn't it? That's how much debt the state's in.
Well, if you want to look at government-owned corporations, their net values increased to $82.5 billion next financial year. They're carrying debt of about 50. So their net asset base is $30 billion. And of course, they're self-sustaining corporations. That's how they run. They run commercially. They pay back their debt. But when you look at our debt profile compared to New South Wales and Victoria, at the end of next financial year, that's the 30th of June next year, our debt in Queensland will be a sixth of New South Wales, and it'll be 1/8 of Victoria. So we are winning the state of origin across the board, Peter. We are strengthening our economy. We're paying down debt. We're delivering infrastructure at a record rate for our state. We're giving back to Queenslanders. And we've done all this. We've come out of COVID with the strongest economy of the big states. And we're really proud of our achievement because that's what Queenslanders have been able to do.
So much of that comes down to jacking up those royalties on mining companies, and the people are benefiting from that. But do you run the risk of running investment out of town? Ian McFarlane, I note, reckons in 3 to 5 years you've got a problem on your hands.
Well, when you just look at what's happening in the coal industry now, you know that industry is strong and will remain strong. The number of people working in the coal industry, Peter, has gone up since I announced those progressive coal royalty tiers last year. The independent Fraser Institute did a report that they've just issued. That shows that when it comes to steel-making coal, we are the best place in the world to invest. And so the signals are very strong for industry, which continues to open new mines like the Olive Down mines. Winchester South is going to come online soon too. There are more jobs in coal mining. There's investment coming through, and that's generating the wealth. And we don't apologise for taking just a slice of that. For every dollar we're getting in additional royalties, coal companies are making 4 times as much in revenue. And they're booking record profits and record revenue. And good luck to them, I say. I've never criticised the coal companies, but when the coal lobby and the mining lobby wants to attack this with a $40 million advertising campaign, we're going to stand up for Queenslanders and make sure they get their fair share.
Okay, and just finally on these handouts, particularly when it comes to electricity, can you guarantee it won't be inflationary and therefore make the RBA's job harder?
Look, it's very clear the advice we have, not just from our Treasury here in Queensland, Peter, but the Reserve Bank and also the Federal Treasury. What we're doing is we're not giving a cash handout to people, we're lowering the price of electricity bills, $5.50 up to $1,072 for pensioners and other concession card holders. And what that does is that lowers the price of electricity, and when inflation is calculated, one of the measures that they use to calculate inflation is the price of electricity. So all of those bills will drop. It'll in fact have a disinflationary effect. It will reduce the impact on inflation, which is exactly what we wanted to do by giving back to Queenslanders, but not exacerbating inflation.
Lots of handouts, Treasurer. It's almost as if there's an election around the corner.
500 days to go today, and we're fighting every one of those days to build Queensland's future.
All right, Cameron Dick, that's the Queensland Treasurer joining us live. Appreciate it, Treasurer. We'll talk to you soon.